Like Thomas Hobbes is one of the first people in Western political thought to take God out of the equation uh, of statecraft and of justification of authority. He was able to. He was like, okay, if we're not saying God is wills this social order, then what does justify and validate this social order? And his premise that the nature of humanity is all-consuming war with one another does follow from that original premise of, okay, take God out of the equation, take forgiveness, reconciliation out of the equation, take the world as it is, which is a series of vastly unequal, vastly exploitative class societies that are organized around internal domination, and remove the structures of authority that underpin them, like a Jenga tower. Pull down the pull the slats at the bottom that keep this thing going. The concepts of legitimacy that keep people obeying them, because it is all at a base level consensual. Like, we are all consenting every moment, uh, because we value something that we are given by this order enough to continue to survive and persist within it. If you remove those slats, what will you have? You will have the war of all against all. You will have red and tooth and claw, nasty Brutus and short existence, because you will have these broken shards of pottery that cannot be brought back together. But that is not the eternal, transcendent nature of humanity. I mean, humanity only was able to come into itself to the extent it has through a fundamental cooperation. Human evolution becomes collective at a certain point. Once sufficient technologies accrue to facilitate communication. And then you have a collective process, a collective endeavor that pushes humanity into new heights of abstraction, an ability to act collectively, to uproot and redefine nature. And once you get to that point, talking about individuals, individual rights, individual anything is kind of nonsensical, because it is a social fiction that facilitates social action until technology develops enough to reify the individual, and put every human at war, at at transcendent interdimensional jihad with the natural. And what Christianity allowed for a long time, and then the socialist vision allowed for afterwards, was a was the capacity to imagine a radical transformation of subjectivity in a positive direction. I think now, in the aftermath of the Battle of Armageddon, one of the things that fixes us and freezes us into this death spiral is that we can only conceive of radical changes of subjectivity as uh, catastrophe, as disaster, because our subjectivity, our the ones that we hold, is all that there is. They have become transcendent categories that must be protected for civilization to mean anything. Civilization doesn't have worth if it is not a vessel for the ambitions and concepts of these reified individuals that we find ourselves to be. So yeah, now all we have is the bad Armageddon on the horizon to be constantly feared. I have stipulated though can never arrive because we're afraid of it, but we're also kind of seeking it because even if it is the end of this subjectivity, if this subjectivity is a curse, then even that can be thought of as a deliverance. But only in that nihilistic death drive sense, not in the idea that we could transcend it. That is foreclosed. So, whatever decline we might be imagining, it will not have the collective, simultaneous, apocalyptic time frame that we're fantasizing about. It will happen individually. And the people left who have not been swallowed will maintain their agonized interposition between the abyss that they fear and secretly crave and the unbearable but also addictive now. Unless there's a nuclear war, of course.